everyone, welcome back to Black Moon Coven. I know I've been pretty absent on this platform, but here I am back with our regular scheduled witchy programming. So before we get into the video, I do want to say thank you so much to the jump in subscribers that I've seen over like the past month and a half. Thank you guys so much. I never really thought that people would be so interested to hear what I had to say, and just thank you so much for supporting my channel, for making it grow, for just being there, being my motivation and inspiration to continue on to do this. So today we're going to be focusing on a money spell. This is my little gift to you for the Yule Christmas season. Everyone needs some cash, everyone needs some money, so I'm going to be showing you a very simple version of this spell and a more complex version. It's not really complex or advanced in any way, it just needs a little bit more prep time. So if you do have more time, you can try the more advanced version. If you are in a pinch and you need to do it now, you could try the more simplified version. Also, I apologize for the sun in the room. I can't make it any more darker than it is. It's kind of in the afternoon right now, but oh well, it's a little bright sunshine that we're gonna bring into the spell. So for the simplified version of this spell, this is what you're going to need. Mind you, this is my own spell. I do this spell a couple of times a year with great results. So this is actually my own spell, and it's really simple and you could upgrade it. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So you're going to need fresh pine needles. They have to be green. You want that essence of money. You want that wealth and fortune to come through. So you're going to need some green pine needles. You could get them straight from the tree, however, be respectful and ask, or you could get them from the ground. Usually around this time of year, pine needles fall to the ground. Now, they don't have to be a specific pine tree. They can be fir, they can be spruce. It doesn't really matter all that much as long as you have green needles from a tree. You're going to need peppermint. Now, if you don't have a local herbal store conveniently right by you, that's totally fine. Go into your cupboard. Pretty sure you guys have some type of peppermint tea in your cupboard or at your local grocery store. You can also use fresh mint for this. You can use fresh herbs because you're not going to be burning the herbs, you're going to be burning the candle. They have mint at the grocery store. You could use fresh mint, or you could use a tea bag, or if you have a herbal store right next to you, that's awesome. And then you're going to need a candle. Now this is only an example candle. This is just a little votive type of candle. Usually for this candle, I'll use something like this or a chime candle. Depends on how much time I have and just how much energy I want to put into the actual spell. It really just matters about the time that you have. Don't go out to the metaphysical stores just to get a specific green candle. If you have a white tea light candle, it works perfectly fine. All that's going to matter really is the energy and intention that you put into it. So, and then you're going to need a spell plate, of course. By spell plate, I mean like a tray that's kind of heat proof that you can put the candle directly on and melt all the herbs all the way, and there won't be any risk of fire or anything like that. So put it in a bowl, put it on a plate, put it in anything that is ceramic, it'll hold the heat. So the best time to do this would be during a waxing moon on a Thursday. However, you don't have to follow the moon phases and you don't have to do day correspondences. I don't really do that much anyways. I just do this spell whenever I need money, and it works pretty nicely out for me. So I'm going to read out the steps that I have, and I'm going to read the incantation nice and slow. I will put that down in the description below as well, so in case you missed it, it's going to be down in the description. So cleanse your space like always and focus. Carve the money symbol into your tea light. So this could be a sigil that you've made or just a symbol, money-like symbol. It could be the dollar amount that you want. It could be whatever represents money to you. Spread the pine needles and peppermint on the plate, so you're going to be making a bed of herbs essentially. Place the candle on top of the bed of herbs, light the candle, and say this: light this candle, wax seal this spell, bring to me fortune and abundance as well. So that's it. It's just a little tiny incantation. You'll let the candle burn all the way down, and you can bury the remains. Now, burying, I don't really do that much anymore. This is an old spell. But what I do now instead is let the candle burn down all the way and then harvest the wax chunks from the spell plate, put them in a little spell sachet, a little spell bag, carry it with you, put it in your purse to increase that money flow. You could put them in your wax burners again, so you could activate the spell once more. So I kind of reuse and recycle the wax that I get from the spell candle. For the more advanced version of the spell, or the more prep-orientated spell, it's going to be essentially the same spell, you're just going to be putting more into it. So for the more advanced version, you're going to make prosperity oil. And this is the recipe that I have for prosperity oil. It's basically olive oil. I use that in all of my oils. It's considered liquid gold to me. I think it has the best properties of oil. Sometimes I'll use, almond oil or coconut oil depending, but olive oil for me is the best witch's oil or base oil to use. Then I mix equal parts basil, rosemary, dill seeds. If you don't have access to dill seeds, I know it's not that common of an ingredient, you can just use dill. You can just use dried up dill. It'll be the same. However, I do like using seeds in my prosperity oil because it symbolizes that growth. So dill seeds, pumpkin seeds, cinnamon stick, peppermint, quickening powder, pine needles, bay leaves, rosemary, and mint oil. If you don't know what quickening powder is, I do have a video on that. If you go back a little bit of ways, you will see what it is, and I'll give you the recipe there. Now, if you don't have pumpkin seeds or dill seeds to add into it, you can add sunflower seeds, you can add flower seeds, basically any type of seed that will sprout and grow that wealth. It's more symbolic than anything else, really. So, the next things you're going to need is peppermint, pine needles, just like in our simple version of the spell, candle, dill seeds, and then we have some dill and some basil in these tins. And you're also going to need a bank statement, a bank note, a check, anything that resembles money to you. This will act as your petition paper. Now, you can use actual money for this. However, I feel so weird about writing on money or defacing any type of money because this is a spell to have your money grow. So what I like to do is grab, this is just a pay stub from work. So I don't need this piece of paper. It's basically garbage. You can actually use this as your petition paper. Now, if you don't have a pay stub, if you don't have checks or anything like that, you can make a fake bill. Essentially grab a blank piece of paper, write down the amount that you want. Be reasonable with this too. If you don't have a job or any way to make income, money's not going to just fall in your lap. So just be reasonable. Don't put $1 million here. Don't put anything that's too unreasonable for you to acquire. So banknote or any blank piece of paper with the amount of money, and you're going to use this as your petition paper. Now you're going to have to make a sigil as well ahead of time. So the sigil can be, my fortune is growing, I want more money, I have more money, stuff like that. Once you have your sigil, you're going to start your petition paper, and that's what I like to do first. Now there is many ways to make a petition paper. What I like to do is write down what I want the spell to do without lifting my pen. So I'm just going to write, I want more money, and I'm going to write that 3 different times. And again, you don't want to lift your pen or marker or whatever you have until you're done with the sentence. So essentially, this is like a command. This is like a spell command. You're telling the spell what you want it to do. You're being extra clear. So then you're going to flip the paper clockwise for manifestation, and you're going to draw your money-making sigil that you have made on your piece of paper. Now, you can use my sigil. Here it is. Just a zigzag with that. However, sigils, they work with creation. The magic from sigils comes from creation. So you're gonna want to create your own. So here is what your petition paper with your sigil should look like. And what you're gonna do is grab your platter, your spell plate, your bowl, whatever you have. You're going to put the petition paper right on the base of it because the spell is going to happen on top of it. You're going to grab your pine needles, spread that all around. If you have like a lot of pine needles or pine branches, just leave them whole, you know, it looks very, very nice that way. And then what you're going to do is anoint the candle. So what I'm going to grab is some little bit of prosperity oil. And anoint the candle. Now this is just a lazy way of anointing a candle. And what I'm going to do is rub the oil going down because you want it to activate your paste step. You want it to come in, not go out. So you're going to rub the candle downways. Now you can put herbs on top of the anointed candle. That's completely up to you. I might sprinkle a little bit of peppermint on top of it or some dill seeds, whatever you really want. So whenever you're adding your herbs, you're going to want to go clockwise for manifestation. So I just added some peppermint. And now we're going to add in the dill seeds. And we're going to do our dried herbs. We're going to do our basil and then our dill. So you can also add whatever herbs you want on top of the candle or on the candle. This is kind of how I anoint my candles. Most of the time I put drops of oil down, put the herbs on top, and it's just as fine as anointing the whole candle. And now we're going to put some dill. I love using dill in money spells. Definitely one of my favorite herbs. And I might put some of that on top of the candle. Okay, so once all of that is done, I'm going to add some prosperity oil to the plates and to my petition paper. And I'm going to add a little bit more to my candle and to the wick. Okay, that should be plenty. So now you are done. This is kind of what it should look like, and I know you can't really see, but that's kind of what it should look like. So the petition paper on the bottom, a bed of herbs, and your candle. Now you can always carve the sigil into the candle if that's what you want. I figured it's already on the petition paper, so I don't have to do it again. However, you can do whatever you want. So you're going to light your candle, and you're going to say your incantation. Light this candle, wax seal this spell, bring to me fortune and abundance as well. So that's the incantation. That is basically essentially the whole spell. It's not super complicated. It's just a basic petition manifestation type spell. Addition to this, you could put pine cones here, you could put pyrite, you could put actual coins and money to kind of bring in that money and that money flow, especially this time of year. So that is my little gift to you. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Follow me on all of my social media. I have some amino communities that I am proud of that I really want to kind of give a shout out to. Maryland Pagan and Witches Amino. Everyone join that community. It's awesome. It's great. I'm a leader on there. So if you want to come join me and my friends for awesome challenges and prizes and just great debates and topics about witchcraft and just blogging topics, if you want to read more of my blogs, please join that amino. Also, Southern Conjure amino, I love it. It's part of just basically voodoo, hoodoo, folk magic, in that sort of direction, and it's just great. So just go out and join those aminos. I will put the link in the description below. But other than that, have a beautiful rest of your day and happy holidays.